the end of the Rolling Stones? In 1986, the Rolling Stones were at a low point with Mick and Keith not writing together, not talking together, leaving poor Ron Wood out in the breeze there to hang. Nobody knew what was going to happen. Is it the end of the Rolling Stones? Talk is cheap on another vinyl show. Ike Frazier Industries presents another vinyl show with Ike Frazier. Hey everybody, it's your old pal Ike Frazier. I hope everybody is doing well today. Is it the end of the Rolling Stones? Well, it's the end of the Rolling Stones as we knew it up to a time period when Keith Richards made his album Talk is Cheap in 1988. It was like a really big deal. Keith Richards is not making a Rolling Stones record, he's making a solo album. But a personal note, going through my own records, during the move we did lose some records, and apparently some of the records that I lost were this 80s period. We just got a round out price from insurance. But I still have Struggle, which was the promotional single, which was going to be the third single, but it just never happened. And I don't have my picture sleeves anymore either. Take It So Hard and Make No Mistake, the second single. So those were the three singles from the album at least. But Mick Jagger's album, She's the Boss, that starts the kerfuffle between Mick and Keith, that only went to number 78 in the US pop charts. Then Keith, is upset about that. That's kind of like, ruining the store brand or whatever. Primitive Cool does a little better for Mick. It only goes to number 57, and Talk is Cheap goes to number 24. So like one writer said back in the 80s or 90s, it just goes to show you that the listening public prefers those two to be together. And maybe that is the lesson that they learned from it, because neither of them cracked the top 20 as solo artists during that time period. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like our video about that, that's the big UK subway poster back there from 1988. But if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. And if you'd like to subscribe and see what we're doing here on another vinyl show, we'd love to have you along for the ride. But until then, I'm your old pal Ike Frazier, and enjoy the video. I'll see you soon. Talk is cheap. Keith Richards is kind of upset at Mick Jagger during this time period because Mick had made a solo record, She's the Boss. And Keith thought, you shouldn't be making a solo record, you're a Rolling Stone, you make Rolling Stones records. And so they get back together and they make the album Dirty Work, which is actually a pretty good record, even though it's much maligned these days. And that was released March 24th, 1986. Keith Richards says that he is ready to tour this record, and so he'd like the Rolling Stones to go out on tour in late 86. But Mick Jagger has other plans. Mick Jagger released one solo album, now he wants to make another one, so he recruits Jeff Beck, and along with Jeff Beck, he gets the Eurythmics main man, Dave Stewart, to produce his new album, Primitive Cool. And instead of working with the Rolling Stones, he decides that he is going to take a working vacation and tour Australia. So he goes to the land down under and plays great shows with great reviews. Everybody is excited to see him, but it's not the Rolling Stones. Keith Richards says, that's not a very good band he's got backing him up, and he's really disappointed. So he starts hanging out with his buddy Steve Jordan. Now, Steve Jordan had helped the Rolling Stones out during the Dirty Work sessions because, unfortunately, during this time period, everyone's beloved Charlie Watts was going through a deep heroin problem at this time, and it was kept really quiet. So Keith wants to make the solo record, and it's Talk is Cheap, featuring the first single, Take It So Hard. Now, MTV, a staple during this time period of 1988, really pulled the stops out. They had a TV special for Keith Richards, and they played the video constantly. And, you heard it all the time. It never made it into the MTV Top 20, but Keith was making a lot of rounds, he was doing a lot of videos, and he was doing anything he could to promote this record at the time. Now, Rolling Stone magazine put him on the cover, so did Guitar World. Also, Musician magazine put him on. Touts from other musicians about how Keith is the original bad boy of rock and roll and that there's nobody tougher. And here's what Keith has to say about making that record.
What triggered you to make the LP on your own, finally?
The fact that I'd found the right band, the right group of musicians to work with, that were all friends with each other, that are friends of mine. So they weren't just like a hired help, they're just how much for you, how much, they were friends, and they were very dedicated to the task of doing it. And also that I need to work. I need to work very much, otherwise I go mad. I'm infinitely preferable to work than to go mad.
So instead of going mad, he releases an incredible single. And that single goes to number 3 in mainstream rock, Take It So Hard. Everybody was pretty enamored with that record at the time. It is a pretty big deal. Then the album, October 3rd, 1988, Talk Is Cheap, comes out. And it is a success both sides of the Atlantic, US number 24 and the UK number 37. Not the heights of what you would expect for Keith's debut, but his band, the Expensive Winos, they decide that they're going to go on tour. So there's a very small tour in late 1988, and the second single comes out, Make No Mistake, which some people believe was a direct message to Mick Jagger, as was Take It So Hard. So here we see a beautiful promo right there. There was a planned third single that came out only in promos, and that was Struggle, a more rock and roll song. It's a really good one, and it had Make No Mistake as the B-side. Now, what could the values of these be? These are really great records, and they're really inexpensive. $5 to $10 for the Take It So Hard 45 with the picture sleeve. And here is a sealed copy of Talk Is Cheap, which shows the red US promo sticker, and you can still find copies of this album sealed for around $20. And that's not so bad, considering today a brand new record costs more than $20 for sure. Now, the most valuable LP, of course, is the Japanese, which sold on eBay for $50. And the promo that we were talking about earlier was only $10 to $20 for that third unreleased single. Now, the most valuable thing related to it is the tour t-shirt, $100 to $200. I had one, wore it till it had holes in it. Thanks for everybody for watching.